back to Anxiety Is Not Me. Anxiety Is Not Me is a sacred space where you will be guided to meet your innermost self for the very first time. She will awaken, evolve, and rise to new depths of unpaved territory, accepting herself wholly. I am your host, Madison Schrader, and I am joined today by Kate Arnold from Pure Holistic Healing, who specializes in helping women who feel stressed, stuck in a rut, exhausted, unmotivated, or unhappy find clarity, purpose, and happiness that they desire.
Hi, Maddie. Thank you so much for having me on today. I've had anxiety for as long as I can remember, since I was a little kid, but it wasn't until my early 20s when a friend of mine was diagnosed with anxiety after having a lot of panic attacks. And I didn't even know what anxiety was then. And she explained it to me, and I said, well, I feel like that all the time, but I didn't know there was a name for it. I just thought it was me, and that was normal. Um, so that made me then aware that I actually had anxiety. And then I think really after I had my kids, it became a lot worse and I really struggled. And that's when I went and had a diagnosis of generalized anxiety disorder, because it started to get out of control and I was anxious about everything, leaving the house and getting the kids ready, being places on time, being late, all of that. And it just added and added. And I started having panic attacks when I had to return to work when my daughter was young. And that's when I started to see a psychologist that I really got along with. I had tried a couple in my past that I really didn't find any connection with. And I found my woman, who I still see now, and she has really helped me to recognize situations when my anxiety is heightened. But I think having an awareness of your anxiety is the first major step in living with your anxiety, because if you're aware of it and you know it's there, you're more able to talk yourself down and stop yourself from going into a complete panic.
Thank you so much for sharing that background story, I guess, from where you have come from to where you are today. I think people use the term anxiety as such an umbrella that people don't actually realize how individual it actually is and how many different ways it can affect each person. I guess to start off with, would you be able to explain to us how energy healing actually works?
Um, During a Reiki session, I'll have you lay on a massage table with the light cover over you, and I place my hands on parts of your body for minutes at a time. The positions are all near the chakra energy system.
For anyone who might not be familiar with our chakras and our chakra system, could you please explain to us what they are and why they are so important?
So there is 7 main chakras in your body. The first being your root or base chakra. Um, this is around survival instinct, security, and grounding. The second is your sacral, which is to do with emotions, creativity, your sexuality, and intimacy. Women tend to store a lot of their emotion in their hips, so this can be a really emotional area for a lot of women. Around your navel and around your belly button, middle part of your body, is to do with your desires, power, your energy and vitality, your self-belief. The fourth chakra is your heart, to do with love and hope and compassion. People tend to store a lot of hurt in there, and I pick this up usually during the session. The fifth chakra is your throat chakra. This is to do with your communication. It's also the center for healing. And the sixth is your third eye, to do with clairvoyance, intuition, and psychic senses. And the seventh, the higher chakra, is your crown chakra, and this is to do with your understanding of cosmic consciousness and enlightenment.
Now, my throat chakra in particular is very, very blocked, very closed off, stems from past life experience, but I have brought it into this life, and I now dream and receive downloads completely in mute. So, would you be able to elaborate a little bit more about our throat chakra in particular and what I could do to help clear that?
Sure. It's very common. Most women that I see have blockages in their throat chakra. And if it's in terms of communication, a really good way to clear it is to write it down. That way it's not you're not holding it in your body, you're letting it out. So anything that you need, if there's a conversation that you need to have or something that you're wanting to say that for some reason or another you cannot say it to the person or speak it out loud, write it down. That will have it out of your system. It also, if it's in terms of healing, it could be that you've got a blockage up in regards to your own healing and you're not ready or allowing for the energy to.
Earlier, you briefly touched on sexual energy. This energy is often untapped into, and I'd like to explore it a little bit further. It is your universal sacred life force, guys. It connects you to your soul point and the cosmos. It holds the energetic imprint of your consciousness and your soul map. It is you at your fullest illumination of who you are, and that allows us in full freedom and trust to energetically express our joy in life and to find healing. So becoming truthful in our lives and to heal, we need spaces of trust that allow us to touch and to live the universal reality of sexuality. I want to share a little bit about my personal experience with my sexuality and when I lost my sense of touch, because that was a really, really hard time and something that I still feel quite challenged by even to this day, and probably will into the future for quite some time as well. So in my teen years, and so when I was younger, I used to use touch as my way of expression. It was really important to me. Affection, it all came very naturally to me. It felt it really embodied the emotion of love to me. So when my anxiety then spiked and I lost my sense of touch because I feared it so much, it became really hard for me to connect with my sexual being and my feminine side. I guess I started to lose this as well when I became a mother, and I decided, I took it upon myself that certain clothing was no longer appropriate and certain actions were no longer appropriate and certain thoughts even were not appropriate to have as a mother. And by doing that, I became so sheltered within myself and shy, timid, embarrassed. Those sort of traits began to pop up, and that confidence and self-esteem was lowered because of that. In a lot of ways, I think I actually knew myself better, the true me, when I was younger. So a lot of people think that most teenagers don't know who they are. And I do agree in certain aspects that you are still finding yourself and you don't know everything, even though you feel like you do. But in saying that, because I was so much more carefree in those days, I really did have quite a good grip on who I was, and I was confident within who I was. So I guess the journey that I've been on in the last couple of years has sort of taken me back to that time. So my advice to you would be, if you want to wear that low cut top, wear it. Or if you want to post that raunchy photo, do it. I do it now, and I honestly feel so empowered. And it's not for the amount of likes that I might get or the attention that I might draw in. It's for me. It's how it makes me feel when I do that. I've realized now that I used to think you had to have that confidence to then wear the sexy dress. But now I've realized for me, it's actually quite the opposite. It's when I wear those choice clothing and that I actually feel the most sexy. So, yeah, I'll put on a dress and I'll take a hot photo and I feel good. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that because it allows me to tap into that sexual energy. And what I do with that is then obviously up to me. And I have to be in control of the consequences as to what I do with that sexual energy and that sexual power. But it makes me feel feminine. And that's what I really, really love. And when I'm in that headspace of feeling sexy and confident and oozing self confidence and self esteem, those shy and timid traits start to loosen their grip. And then the fear also falls away because I'm so in the moment and so empowered with the way that I'm feeling that I don't feel as scared. I'm not focused so much of the anxiety and the embarrassment. I'm just focusing on the power. When I lost my sense of touch, I wasn't able to be my most authentic self in a happy and healthy and mindful way because sexual energy is a big part of who I am. And we need this to harvest more positivity into our vortex. If you're going to take anything away from my personal story here, I think it would be that it is so important to try and be as transparent as possible about the issues that you're facing. Most people will be quite understanding if they have the knowledge. But in saying that, some people aren't going to always feel comfortable to open up right away or ever. So you either need to ask questions if you're seeking answers about a particular person, or you just need to show empathy because sometimes we don't understand what's going on in another person's mind.
If I have women come that have any blockages within their sacral chakra, I encourage them to do something creative because that will release anything that's held in the hips. So whether it's dance, reading, art, making jewellery, whatever makes you happy, find your creative flair. And that is a really good way to release anything from there.
That makes so much sense as to why when I went back to dancing, everything started to just shift and click. Everything sort of started to feel like it was releasing. And yeah, I was feeling more like myself and more free again. Kate, I know that you offer meditation as part of your energy healing sessions as well. Performed together, can the two achieve even deeper results?
Yes, definitely. I run all my Reiki sessions start with a progressive muscle relaxation meditation. So I find that people are already in a deep state of relaxation before I even start the Reiki session. And so therefore they can go even deeper during their Reiki session.
There is such an enormous amount of different types of meditation. And I think that people think there's only one sort and that one sort has to cater for everybody. But that's not true. Do you believe that anyone can meditate? And how do you learn how to meditate?
So I believe that everybody can meditate. And as you just mentioned, there are a lot of ways to meditate. So I think the way you can learn is by trying, finding what works for you. A lot of people start with a guided meditation, whether it's on an app or YouTube, or go to a class and see how you go with that. And I think just experiment and find what works for you.
Why do you think meditation can be so beneficial from a physical and physiological point of view?
I think that once you try meditation and you get into the flow, you will start to feel some of the benefits and you'll find out why you want to continue. So main benefits are stress reduction, helping with anxiety and depression management, helps you to focus and live in the present. You can increase your happiness, have emotional regulation and balance, and it can also increase your memory and creativity.
Do you have any advice for how to find your why to meditate and how to commit to daily practice?
I think once you try meditation, you'll find your why. I think people come to things when they're ready. You can't force it on somebody to try meditation. When they're ready, they will. And I think once they start feeling the benefits, they'll find out why they want to continue. And everybody's why is personal to them. I think to commit, you need to start small, find which type of meditation that suits you, and it's about discipline too. Trying to commit to doing even 5 minutes a day, and then slowly you can build that up. I think create a time in your routine and in a good space. Myself, I prefer to meditate in the morning and before I have a client. And I also practice mindfulness meditation while I'm out walking.
Now, I know this is a big ask, but would you be willing to guide us through a really short meditation for our listeners? Doesn't have to be anything huge, just a little snippet, a little tease for anybody who may not have tried meditation before, just to get them hooked.
Yeah, okay, sure. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. And when you are ready, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. Focus your attention on your feet. Imagine a warm, golden light bathing your feet, just like the warmth from the sun. You can feel the warmth healing any pain or tension in your feet and ankles as it slowly starts to move up your legs, across your knees and towards your hips. This warm golden light hovers at your hips, and you can feel the warmth spreading out, taking away any pain as it moves up over your belly, over your torso, across your back, towards your chest and arms. Feel this warmth run up your arms, bathing them in warm golden light. Feel it tingle in your hands. It now moves up your chest and neck towards your head and face. You can feel this warmth radiating through your whole body now, like you are glowing from the inside out. You feel calm and relaxed and free from aches and pains. Enjoy this lovely healing warmth and this feeling of being completely relaxed. Imagine yourself now lying in a field of grass or a sandy beach, bathing in this warm, healing light. When you are ready, take a deep breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring yourself back to the present moment. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes.
How incredibly beautiful was that? Thank you so much, Kate, and thank you for being here and sharing your inspiring wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Anxiety is Not Me is a place for all of us to share and to feel inclusive. If you would like to share your story, please reach out to me, sending you energy of love and peace as you become more aware of your inner light with every breath.